Hey, Tanse. It's me again, Brenda Albert. I'm going to do this a little differently because there's been a lot of talk lately about residential schools. I am a survivor. First of all, I'll tell you about my family. I come from a family of 5. I have my older brother who's a year older than me, and then myself, and I have 3 younger ones, 3 younger brothers. This is very, 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 very hard to talk about. When I think about it, when I talk about it, I have many mixed emotions. It was a very traumatic time in my life. I will never, 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 as long as I live, forget what happened in that school. If you can call it a school. It wasn't even a school. I think I should start by saying I thank the Creator, Kutawino, for lending us another day. That very thankful that I'm on this earth. I was one of the lucky ones to come back alive. And I have not told too many people about what happened in that building that was run by I would say people that were supposed to work for God. And the things they said and did were not commands from God. I always wondered what kind of God would make people do things like that to little kids. I think I'm going to start off from how it all happened. It was, I remember it was a beautiful fall day. And we were playing outside, my brothers and I. The youngest one in my family was a baby, so he was inside. I was 5 years old. I wasn't yet 6. My oldest brother was 6. We were playing, like other normal children. We were laughing and playing and having fun. Then all of a sudden I heard my Nehiyawetan, our mom, yelling, "Kasuk, kasuk." That means hide, hide. I don't even remember who it was I supposed to hide from. But, back then kids really listened to their mother. So right away, we went and hid in the bushes, saga. Back then we all spoke nothing but Cree, Nehiyawetan, and that's all, the only language you understood. I remember all of us running into the bushes, hiding, and we heard a vehicle pull up. I didn't see the vehicle, I heard it, because we were too busy running into the bushes, hiding in Togaswa. Because that's what our mom told us, Kasuk, Kasuk. Anyways, all I heard was this strange language. I guess it was English. Now I remember, it was English. And this guy was talking to my mom, and all of a sudden I heard a dog. You know what? That dog was brought in to sniff out the people that were hiding, the kids. And that dog found us, because that's what the dog's job was, to find us at Skagwa. And that dog was standing there barking at us, ready to bite us if we moved. Sunday I saw these two legs stand in front of us. It was a man. I remember him wearing black pants and big boots. And he kept saying something to us. And he grabbed me and my brother, my oldest brother. And kind of grabbed our arms and kind of pulled us, more or less dragged us to this big truck. And I heard my mom yelling for us, but she couldn't do nothing. My mom didn't speak English. She only spoke Cree. And we were thrown in the back of this truck, and there were other kids there. They were crying. I was 5 years old. Like I said, this is hard. I'm 63 years old, and I still remember clearly what happened to me when I was 5, especially that time. We were in the back of this truck. That's where we were thrown. My mom was yelling and crying. And the man got in there in the truck and started driving away with us in there. And I saw my mom running. She was trying to catch up to the truck, but she never did. And I remember yelling and crying. My brother was hugging me and trying to comfort me. You know, that was the last time I saw my mom. Till June, the end of June, 10 months. Imagine your child being taken from you at the age of 5. You know, I remember going for a long drive, crying all the way. It seemed like a forever drive. Then I felt this truck stop. And we were in front of this big building. And we were ordered out. We were ordered out of the truck. A whole bunch of us kids. Now I remember this building because I see it. It's in Battleford. It's the old post office in Battleford. And if you guys go there, at the top of that big tall building, you'll see that word Indian Agency. That's where we were taken. Because how I remember it is because that place was so vivid in my mind. I studied that building when I was young, and I remember it now. And then we were ordered in this big old bus. It looked like a big old bus. Again, we were ordered in there. This was close to dinner time. We were picked up. And by the time we got to Battleford, it was already afternoon. That place where we were transferred from that truck to that bus. And then again, the bus started moving. All of us kids. Oh, that ride was so long. And during that whole time, nobody gave us water. Nobody gave us anything to eat. I remember being so thirsty and hungry. And I was crying and crying. I must have cried out myself to sleep. And I was hungry and thirsty too. Then I remember it was late evening. The bus finally came to a stop. You know, back then I had beautiful hair, beautiful long hair. My mom would braid my hair every morning. My hair used to hang down, my braids. And I remember my mom. every morning she would comb my hair. It was so soft and slowly. And braid it. It's like she was so proud of my long braids. I remember these beautiful memories of my childhood at home. It was late evening when it was still light. I remember it was still light. That bus came to a stop. And I remember getting off and looking at this big reddish brown building, like bricks. There's a big door, big steps going up, and big pillars on both sides. And there was a big door, 2 big doors that swung open. My brother always held my hand during that time. We were ordered up the steps. At that time, I didn't know the name of this school, but I know now. It is called St. Michael's Residential School in Duck Lake. And when we got inside, I saw this man wearing a black long dress. He had a little bit of white here on in his neck here. And I saw this couple of women standing there. They had these black long dresses and they were covered in black, like a veil, and there was white here. And I remember one of the sisters had a bright red face. I didn't realize that sister was the one that gave us corporal punishment. Her name, I still remember her name. Her name is Sister Mark Anthony. Never forget her. We went up the steps 2 by 2. My brother was holding my hand, like was afraid to let go of me. When we got to the top of the steps, we went into this little corridor. And the priest grabbed my brother by the arm, and it was a priest that was standing there, and over on this side were the nuns, the sisters. The priest grabbed my brother by the arm and pulled him to the left side of this inside the building, and the sister grabbed me. That sister grabbed me and pulled me to the right-hand side. And we were kind of pushed against the wall, all these other girls. I didn't realize on this side was the girls' dormitory, and over on this side was the boys. Honest to God, you guys, when they pulled me and my brother apart and they threw him, pushed him to the left-hand side, that was the last time I ever held my brother's hand. That was the last time for the next 10 months I ever talked to my brother. That kind of sibling love was for more or less they forbade it. As I was saying, the girls on this, I don't know what happened to the boys, because I was, like I said, it was the last time I saw, that close to my brother. I would see him only at meal times. From a distance, he would be sitting way over on the other side. We weren't even allowed to wave at each other. Anyways, the girls were on this side. We were put against the wall, and there was a door right here in front of me, and another door on this side. And then there was that's all I seen at that time when I first went in. One by one, the girls went in. This first room, when it was my turn to go into that room, they took my clothes. All those clothes that I had on me, home clothes, they were taken away from me. And I was given these clothes to wear. And then the next room, where they cut your hair, I was put on a chair. They took my braid, cut it off. Took the other braid, cut it off. And then they cut bangs. They cut my hair right here on the forehead. They gave us bangs. So all the girls had the same haircut. And then, I don't understand this. They would take the back of our necks and shave it right here. They would pull it up and shave it. And then they would put this white stuff on our heads. Here I figured out what that was. That was lye, to kill any lice. We were clean. My mother made sure we were clean all the time. It was them that brought us lice. Then we were taken down the corridor. They had a little girls' dormitory, and upstairs was the big girls' dormitory. They had these little beds all lined up like this. They were like lined up. And each, we were assigned a bed. My name was taken from me. Nobody knew me by Brenda Albert. I was given a number. "55. That was my name. Brenda Albert ceased to exist and became 55. I was assigned all your clothes, everything on you, your dress, your undergarments, socks, shoes, everything was marked with the number that was given to you. I was not known as Brenda. They took your identity, the name that was lovingly given to you by a family member when you were born. You guys, why did that happen? I come from a very loving home. We're very spiritually traditionalist, my family. You know, they had trust. My family had trust in Munyasak. But after that happened, there's no trust. Where did this racism? That's where it came from. I didn't grow up with any inkling of racism. They sure showed us a lot of racism in that place against us. They bullied us. My brother doesn't talk about much about what happened to him. He's got a lot of anger. He doesn't trust. Something tragic happened to him in that place. Something happened to me too. We were hit. Like that sister I told you about, Sister Mark Anthony. I remember her very clearly. I remember the way she looks like. And she always wore this necklace. I remember this. She always wore this necklace like a string around her neck. And at the end of each string, she had these wooden blocks. And that's what she used to punish us with every time we spoke our language. Like, how can we communicate with each other if we didn't know how to speak English? We had to speak our own language to be able to talk to each other. We weren't allowed to even hug each other, talk to each other, to show compassion for one another. And she would be right on top of us. She would make us hold our hand like this. And she would hit it 5 times on top of your hand. And then the other hand 5 times. That's Sister Mark Anthony. Never forget that name. Like, they really abused the children in those schools every which way they could. And they said they were there to educate us. I don't even remember learning anything in the school in that place. All I remember is going to mass, church, praying this. Like, we must have prayed how many times in one day. I remember count. I'll tell you how our day was. We'd wake up in the morning, get on your knees, just right by your bed, pray. Make your bed. Go wash up, change your clothes. Go downstairs in the file, like when the students file up for breakfast. Get downstairs, we're in the kitchen. Before we eat, we pray. Forgot about. Before we go for breakfast, we have to go into Mass. Every morning we went to Mass. We sat there, had Mass, prayed. You know what? I was so hungry all the time. I would go into the confession and come up with a lie just so I can eat one of those little breads. Communion, they call it. When we're done Mass, we go for breakfast. Before we ate, we prayed. When we're done eating, we prayed. Then we went into that, they call it a rec room. There wasn't even nothing there. There was just against the wall benches. We'd go outside, come inside, we prayed. I don't remember going to school. We sure did a lot of praying though. Praying for forgiveness. And I remember that, as soon as I started to learn to understand English, I remember that priest would say, if you don't ask for forgiveness, you go to hell. Oh my God, I was so scared of going to hell. I didn't even know where that was. Or else if you didn't go to hell, you went to purgatory. I don't even know where that is. But that's the fear they instilled in us kids. And you know what? At 5, 6 years old, of course you're going to be scared of going to purgatory or hell. But you know what? I had to go to confession because I was hungry. And in the winter months, doesn't matter how cold it was outside, we were forced to go outside. And I remember huddling against the wall with the other girls so we can keep warm. Once the girls inside were warm, they would move on the outside so the outside would warm up too. And I remember the springs, there were these little yellow flowers that grew on these bushes that was around where we played. I remember we ate up all those yellow flowers. That's how hungry we were. So, people need to know what happened in there. Some people said they had a good experience. I did not. All this stuff I'm saying, you know what? I never told my mom till I was in my late 30s. It's like I was ashamed that I did something wrong. Like I was afraid to tell her that it was all my fault. Please believe that kids were physically abused, they were mentally abused, they were emotionally abused, and the worst is they were sexually abused. I never trusted a male. That's why I stayed single. Like, I never told my mom that that her little girl was bothered by a priest. My mom never knew that. It's a hard thing to say. I was not the only one. The rest of us had seen the rest of us girls will live with that. The ones that went through that. We'll live with that for the rest of our lives. Now that you consider that it's a criminal offense. What they did to the girls, little girls. Imagine your 6-year-old daughter, 6-year-old granddaughter going through that. My mom never knew. I felt so ashamed, like it was my fault that it happened to me. But now I realize it wasn't my fault. But I wish I had told my mom. I was there for many years. And during that whole time, when I came home for the summer, when my brother and I came home, we never talked about it. We didn't even bring up that word. Any kind of memories from that building to home. We left everything till we had to go back again. My mom never even asked us. And then when I told her what had happened, I didn't tell her about what happened to me by the priest, but what that sister did to us. She would hit us with those blocks of wood. They would punish us. She finally told us, Ata, iigasgitan, kantugasui, katapasitak. She told us that she tried her best to hide us. And she didn't want to bring up the subject that she always felt like she was at guilt. Too. It's like it was her fault to for that to happen to us. But it wasn't her fault. There was a law back then that your children at an age had to be taken. I told her that the sisters would hit us, that Sister Mark Anthony would hit us with blocks of wood because we spoke our language. But I will never forgive them. Never forget it. And nor should the whole world needs to know the stories of what the children went through. This is my story, what I went through. When I became a mother, that residential school really affected me as a mother. Because in that time we were in Duck Lake at St. Michael's, we were not allowed to hug. We were not allowed to. It's like we were being isolated from one another. That we are not allowed to show emotion, feelings, love. So when I became a mother, I was really trying hard to break from that shell. It took a lot out of me to hug my kids. I love my kids with all my heart and life. I think that's why I protected them when they were growing up, because of what I went through. I didn't want nothing like that happening to them. I think I overprotected them. I didn't want them to experience something like that. But I'm slowly trying to break out of that cycle with my grandchildren. But this is something that the residential schools, it broke the families, it broke the kids. And it's going to take generations before they are healed. I remember when I was telling my mom some of the things that happened to us. She told us, igit sa matak man nakigway. Sunya sapsis, kigway gamit sig. She said, I used to send you and your brother a little bit of money I could afford and some little odd and end things like toiletries, I used to send them whenever I could. You know what? We never got them. A lot of kids probably got sent stuff, but they never got it. It was I don't know. I really don't understand why people who are supposed to be working for God do these things to kids. Don't understand. You know, when I look at people around, when I look at them, and I know that they didn't go to these residential schools, I envy them. I really do. The reason why I envy them is because they don't have that kind of memory. A horrible, nightmarish memory that you can never get rid of. And you see these people, they go around, you see them, and you know that they didn't go to these residential schools. I envy them because they don't have that kind of horrible memories. You know, I could say this and that, but one thing I'm really grateful for is my family. Like I said before, they're very traditional spiritualists, and it's because of that I became the person that I am today. They instilled that language in me and my brother, even though for 10 months we were not allowed to speak. And we'd come home and they would rebuild it in us. And that's why I'm a teacher here now at the school that teaches the language and the culture because of my family. I'm so thankful for that. You know, I envy people who do not have that kind of memory. Again, I'll say it. I hope telling my story of what I experienced, that it kind of, you have a little bit of understanding of what survivors, you wonder why people, some of them, they couldn't handle the abuse they got in there, so they went to alcohol and drugs. Like I said, I'm so thankful for my family. If they weren't there, I probably would have ended up having one kind of abuse or something to block out that memory. But I am, I'm thankful for their strong influence on us. A lot of people weren't lucky to have that strong influence from their families. I was talking to my son over the weekend. I told my kids I didn't tell them everything, what happened. But they know that I went to St. Michael's in Duck Lake. And I was talking to him and I told him, I said, Nia, I went through a traumatic memory in my life when I was a child. I should be the one drowning it out in drinking and drugs, not young people. you know, this, but it wouldn't have helped anyway, because that problem would, that memory would still be there if I was to be sobered up. But that was my mom. I'm so thankful for her, for standing by me, for pushing me, even my kukum. You gotta find the people that will stand up with you. I feel, like I said, my oldest brother who was with me there, we used to, we grew up together the first 5 years of our life. We were, me and my brothers, my siblings, we were close. Even broke the family, the siblings. We used to do the things together as kids, play games. When I came back, I felt like an outsider. My brother probably felt the same way. I felt like when we came home at the end of June, I felt like an outsider, that I didn't feel I belonged in a family. And I used to wonder why. I guess they felt the same way to me because I changed. That school, that residential school changed me and my brother. We were not the same people that left from there and went there. We were different. It's like the way we were, when I think about it, the way we would act, like we were better than them. Like the Cree language was not important. So, that's all I'm going to say. And that school is not standing anymore. That residential school got burnt down. But I still remember what it looks like. I still remember those people who worked there. I can call them people. They're Manchimantuak. That's what my mom used to call them, Manchimantuak. And that's why I don't, honest to goodness, I don't go to church. We have our own spiritual belief. Like in our spiritual belief, Kuhtawi, the Creator, everybody is, we are all equal. No one is higher than anybody else. I follow those teachings. And same thing with the students I work with and the people of this community. We're all related. We're all equal. This whole residential school should never be forgotten. Like, to tell you the truth, these are visitors that came to this land, and they took advantage of the children, of the people they were visiting, trying to change them into people that they were not. And the best way they knew how was to take their kids away. They subjugated the kids Once inside that big building, they did all sorts of stuff to them. More like experimenting. Like they were experimenting on those kids. They were trying to me, they were trying to wipe out a whole race. The original inhabitants, they were trying to wipe them out. They started off with our old people by giving them sicknesses, and they couldn't do that, so they figured, we'll take the kids, that's the future. And yeah. But anyway, so last month now in Tota week, I'd like to thank you for listening to me. It is a very hard subject to talk about. And I just wanted to share what I went through. Everybody's story is different, but this is what I went through. I was taken at the age of 5, and I was there for 10 months out of the year. A lot of bad things happened to me in there. And there's those bad things that happened to me in there. It still kind of affects me today. Not kind of, it does. But I am working on it day by day to overcome this. I'm not going to let them beat me. I'm not. I'm a stronger person than they are. And it takes a coward to do that to kids. But we still live on. And with that, I would like to thank you for watching and listening.